My name is Rick Jones. I work for Catholic Relief Services, and I live here in El Salvador and have for the past 17 years. Today, in 2007, the three biggest issues that Salvadorans face are migration, violence, and global climate change. The immigration has had a huge impact on El Salvador economically and socially and politically. There are an estimated 2.5 million Salvadorans living in the United States. Each year they send back over $3 billion to support their families at home. Many of them live undocumented in the United States, and it's very important for the United States to recognize their contributions both there as well as to their families back at home. While they send all of these remittances back, there's also the issue of families being torn apart. And we have seen El Salvador came out of a 12-year civil war from 1980 to 1992, and then massive outflows because of the lack of employment opportunities for people here at home. They're basically leaving El Salvador so that they can feed their families. But it's having a negative impact on the family, as many women now are both breadwinners as well as the sole person taking care of the family at home. And kids are growing up with aunts and uncles and grandparents. Many children only have a photograph of their father or mother by which they remember them. So this is having a huge impact on the disintegration of the family. When that happens, the social fabric starts to fall apart. And this has been one of the factors that contributes to the levels of social violence. We have El Salvador today is one of the most violent countries in the Western Hemisphere, with over 57 homicides for every 100,000 people. Part of it is gangs, part of it is organized crime, and part of it is simply the lack of institutions that are addressing properly the issues of justice of the day. And so Salvadorans and communities are trying to find a way to move forward, to make livelihoods either through immigration or how do they address the issues of insecurity. The other big, all of this is placed within the global context of global climate change. Here in El Salvador, the population that's poorest is the most vulnerable. And this is the real uncomfortable truth about global climate change, is that those who contribute least to the problem of gases and emissions are those who will be most negatively impacted by any change in the climate. In El Salvador, we already have drought, floods, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes. We have every kind of natural disaster that you can get. And it's usually the poorest of the population that is most affected. And any change in the temperature will have a huge impact. And while many people have heard about a global average of an increase of 2 degrees and all of that, the havoc that will wreak, that is a global average. In El Salvador, they talk about 6 to 8 degree changes and massive flooding on the coast, displacement of people, increased immigration, increased crop loss and drought. Most of the people are still working in the rural areas in farming, families, subsistence farming, and we need to find ways to help them to adapt to a changing climate and to reduce the negative impact of the change that is already taking place. You know, a lot of these issues young people are going to face, and frankly, apathy is boring. It's far more exciting to actually do something, and you will be absolutely amazed at how much you can actually do between recycling in your community, between looking at issues in your school, and what you can do with teachers. The world is open, and we're at a point in time where things are going to dramatically change, and they can change for the better, and you all can be a part of that emerging change of how do we live in a greener world, how do we live with less violence. And I think young people are going to be the key to this whole thing. Some of the young people we work with here come up with ideas that I've never thought of. And I was trained in a lot of this stuff. And we also do breakdance, hip-hop, rap music, reggae, and you name it. And it's a lot of fun. And like I said at the beginning, apathy gets really boring. You can stay home, or you can go big and try and do something with your life and do something creative and meaningful and have a lot of fun while you're doing it.